I walked by this building and it just called my name. What can I say? I just fell in love with it. I thought, wow, what is that? It's got character. It's not your old packaged, boxed building that we get today.
The work that has gone into this building, it is fantastic. You know, we can build a house now in 5 days. It took 5 years to build this building.
And it represents an era where construction was really crafted by artisans that we don't have today.
You look at how they built this building with the materials they had at the time, it might not seem unique now, but it's unique when you consider when it was built, what they had to use to build it with, and the incredible craftsmanship.
The architecture of the academies that I've seen, which is those that are surviving, is remarkable. The architect for the Brigham Young Academy building was Joseph Don Carlos Young. Happened to be the same architect for the Oneida Stake Academy, and he was educated in the East. And as an architect, and a very prominent architect, he was Brigham Young's son.
I have lived here for 40 years and I've found that we do not save our history. And it's very sad to me that we don't save our history.
It's an interesting phenomenon. In the United States, we preserve buildings, but many of them are just maybe 100 or 200 years old at the most. But in many nations in Europe, buildings are hundreds and hundreds of years old. They preserved for generations upon generations. And that's because they show the history of the people that lived there, the love, the life, the joy they had there.
I personally know of many people, including myself, who would love to go see all those wonderful old buildings saved in Europe. We've got wonderful history in our own backyards. We've got to save it. Why go see somebody else's history and not save your own?
You know, we've got a program at the federal level called Restore America's Treasures, Save America's Treasures. And I'm a huge supporter in, when you find a project like this, being able to put some seed money from the federal government in to get it started so that this can actually be done. And oftentimes without that seed money, this wouldn't happen.
Preserving historic buildings is important in general, very important to communities. And these represent some of the most historically significant buildings that were built by the Mormons as they came west. And it has an impact on people in the community to see the roots of their communities.
The people who built this structure, built this building, and were educated here, what they took out into the world is important. And I'm not sure there's a better way to teach that than by bringing our youth and those people that are here today into this facility and let them see where their forefathers and foremothers were educated. Let them understand what went into the process of putting up this structure.
The first time I came to this building, Nisha walked me up the stairwell in the belfry and showed me the names that had been etched in the walls. We looked and looked, but I don't think we ever found Harold B. Lee's name. Maybe it was because he would never deface public property, but I doubt it. It's only that we couldn't find it. But as I had that experience and as I walked into that tower and I looked at all of those signatures that have been put there through the years, it came alive for me.
He did talk about his formative years there in Preston and in Whitney, and how the teachings that his parents gave to him, the community, the church, really set him on this course to do amazing things that for a young kid from southeastern Idaho you wouldn't really anticipate. But he had an amazing life, and it all started there at the Academy.
And you know, that's one thing Preston's been good at, is producing great people and sending them abroad.
I think the thing that was instilled in me about his boyhood years growing up was his love of learning.
As the oldest of a very large family, my grandfather came from a home that was committed to education. I believe my grandfather, more than anything, instilled in all of us a sense of optimism. It's terribly significant to our family that the name is now associated with this park, that the building's been relocated, and that now the effort is underway to refurbish the Academy.
But when the building is complete, it needs to really represent the original design. And so restoration really means going back to old pictures, doing a lot of research. When you look at the paint that was on the building originally, the colors, the woodwork, and take all that back to original design.
Once this building is restored, it's going to generate the funds through the use of its rooms and through the programs that the Oneida State Academy Foundation will sponsor, that will be held in the building, that will draw people to the building and generate the funds it needs to operate.
To me, the economic development is just outrageous what we could do with it.
Make it a showpiece for our community, not only honoring distant ancestors, but even those people who have put the effort into getting it to this point.
So that we can have that experience, that our history comes alive, that our ancestors speak to us through stone and through wood and through just the cultural experience that we can taste and understand in a way that we never could otherwise.
I reach out to you with my heart that this is important. It will be a credit to you and a credit to our age to preserve this for the young people who are coming.
There was a librarian for the Library of Congress, his name was Daniel Borstein, and he said that when planning for the future, if we don't have a sense of the past, it's like we're planting cut flowers. And we've got all these cut flowers we're trying to plant. Those are our children. If we inspired one child from Preston, Idaho, to accomplish what those pioneers accomplished in building this building, we've done the world a service.